Vitamins and Tati Westbrook are two combined things which just seem to never go away on this platform. I mean, how many scandals can you have with these things? I don't even know what they do.
Alright you guys, this is Halo Beauty, and this is the hair, skin, and nails booster, and this works. 100%, it is Tati approved. I literally have my name on the top of the lid. Everything A to Z in here is my vision, my dream, my hope for what I wanted in the perfect vitamin.
Now that's great. She's making a lot of money, she's selling these products, people are most likely in factories being underpaid making these products. I love capitalism. I do. And with capitalism comes lawsuits, and yeah, it's no different with Tati Westbrook. A bloke called Clark Swanson has recently decided to sue Tati Westbrook. And now you've most likely seen a lot of your favourite channels such as this one and this one and this one, wait, not this one, but this one now, covering this topic. And now to me, when I first saw this, I did think it was a bit complex. I saw some videos and thought, wow, my brain is too small to process this information. So what I'm going to do for you guys who also equally has a small brain is kind of simplify this, kind of go through this whole scandal, this whole lawsuit situation, and give you guys a little bit of an understanding. So to start this whole investigation, I want to go to the real origin of this story, and that starts with without a glass ball? Something like that.
Remember how I told you I was going to try to do something where I exposed Tati Westbrook? And I was like looking, and I've been doing this for 2 days straight now, thinking I would find something. When I started digging into her background, and I have looked all over the place, you guys, everywhere, because part of what I do is I like to look into people that sell snake oil to see if they have stuff in their background that would make them less than honorable, something that might indicate that there's something legal going on, they have a criminal background, they have a criminal history, they owe money, they have a reputation for doing all these things. And then when you go to her mother's page or her sister's pages, who are all still there, they're all like, she doesn't exist as a part of their family anymore.
It's weird. It's really weird. I'm sorry if you guys watch this person's channel, but this is just strange. This is very weird behavior. Yes, Tati Westbrook on her social media platforms has done some really questionable things, but at the same time, that doesn't give you the right to stalk her family. Tati Westbrook's a human being, and you may be like me and agree that her previous actions on social media were bad and you don't agree with them, but that doesn't give you the right to be Inspector Ghoul, but instead of a murder, there's nothing. There's literally nothing, and you're just weirdly looking up her family. But despite all of this weirdness, there was actually a situation that Without a Glass Ball uncovered, and it's now public. It's now all out there and everyone's talking about it, so I guess we're going to talk about it. Basically, she uncovered a lawsuit to do with Tati Westbrook and the co-owner of her vitamin business, Halo Beauty. To cut a long story short, basically the person who owns 50% of the equity in Tati Westbrook's company, Halo Beauty, has decided to sue Tati Westbrook on the grounds that she has broken her contract by releasing a makeup eyeshadow palette under another makeup company called Tati Beauty. Clark Swanson, the person who somehow owns 50% equity of Halo Beauty, argued that Tati had breached her contract by doing this, and it had led to a financial loss for him. Now, I think when a lot of people first saw this, they thought, well, yeah, she has breached her contract by doing that, according to Clark, and, you know, Tati's in the wrong for this, until you look at the actual context behind the scenes that Tati and her husband have now released. But before we get into any of that, I do actually have an announcement! Da-da-da-da! I have a U2s and it's out right now. Look at this cute little thing. It's not for, oh, it's focusing. You can actually get this right now on youtubes.com. The link's in the description. It's me, it's Kenjo. You can go and get it right now. It's all there in the description. But actually getting into the lawsuit, we're going to start to take a look at some of the statements released between Clark Swanson and Tati and her husband. Now, the first statement I noticed from Tati Westbrook's team was this. For the first 7 months of 2017, Mr. Swanson was unreliable and unproductive despite his promise to develop Halo Beauty into a global nutraceutical beauty brand. It became apparent that Mr. Swanson was unwilling or incapable of doing so. Mr. Swanson's approach to building a successful company was to cut corners, ignore deadlines, and paying bills. It then goes on to say how Mr. Swanson missed plenty of deadlines and basically just did an absolutely terrible job at this. Somebody who really shouldn't own 50% equity in the company. And if you don't know what that means, well, it says what it is on the tin. He owned 50% of Halo Beauty. So the argument of Clark Swanson was that he was completely in the shadow of what was going on with this new tiny beauty company, and he said he had no notifications to do with this, he had no messages, no signals that this new company was being formed, and it goes on further and further and further to get into more and deep complex things, which we're going to get into. But before we go any further, you may be wondering how Tati managed to get into business with Clark Swanson to the point of where he owned 50% equity, despite, in Tati's words, being so unreliable. Well, apparently they had a close personal friendship beforehand, and Tati and her husband knew him, and they thought he was rich, successful, and overall good with business. But at the end of the day, I do still find it rather crazy that despite this guy being believed to be this successful, wonderful businessman who had loads of money, I have plenty of friends who are successful, have a lot of money, but would I go into business with them? No, I wouldn't. Why would I? Because I know what some of my friends are like, and I know what I'm like. I wouldn't go into business on that extent with, I'd say, 99% of my friends. And now, in credit to Tati Westbrook, I do think in the industry and business, a lot of people have lied and got to the point of the top just by lying, and it does happen, it does. I'm just a little bit confused about how he could actually get 50% of equity in the company, but at the end of the day, it happens. It may have been a mistake on Tati's part, and she may not have fully understood who this guy was, but yeah, I'm just confused by that, but that's all really. That's mainly my major criticism of Tati in this situation. But talking about Clark having 50% equity in the company moves us on to the main talking point of this situation, where Clark basically believes that he owns 33% of the entire Tati Westbrook empire.
Long story short, Halo was always a name that I was attached to. When really thinking about the larger concept of where I wanted a brand to go for me and filing trademarks and having issues with trademarks, I did decide ultimately to put everything under the Halo, everything would be one, and I thought, why not? You know what, we can start with vitamins, and we can go into skincare, and we can go into color cosmetics, and it's my business. So I can do that. I don't have to have different names for them.
Yeah, in context to the lawsuit, I was a little bit confused when I first saw this clip. And now don't get mad at me, the reason I was confused by this was because on the 1st of August 2017, Mr. Swanson said that he agreed to give up 50% of his stake and managing membership in the nutraceuticals business in exchange for 1/3 of the ownership of the new all-inclusive brand. But this is where we get into the big argument of semantics. I kind of feel like I'm being gaslit by lawyers right now, because one side of the lawyers are telling me that all-inclusive means that Clark Swanson genuinely owns 33% of her entire company because Tati said the brand is all-inclusive.
There is something for everyone. It's an all-inclusive brand.
Which I would 100% agree on, especially in this situation. I actually find it absurd, absolutely mental, that a top lawyer is genuinely trying to argue about semantics with the term all-inclusive. I think we all know what Tati was saying when she said her brand is all-inclusive. She was saying that the brand is for everyone. She wasn't saying that the brand was for Clark Swanson. She wasn't saying, yeah, Clark, you are owning all of my companies because I said one time that my brand is all-inclusive. I don't think anyone heard Tati Westbrook say this
All-inclusive brand.
and think that she meant, oh, all her brands are going to be under the brand of Halo Beauty.
So my brand name is Halo Beauty, And to me, it means that everyone is included, everyone's under the halo, everyone is thought of, and no one is left out. So there is something for everyone. It's an all-inclusive brand, and I knew that that would be so important in every move that I made with this brand. So Halo Beauty is for all of us, but also it is good, it is pure.
Now I think this clip really just in general clears it up. Tati clearly didn't mean when she said all-inclusive that it meant all her brands were in one company. She clearly meant that it was referencing race, gender, and sexual orientation. To even suggest that her saying all-inclusive means that Clark Swanson gets 33% of her empire, it's just nuts, especially given the fact that she clearly thinks he's a moron. The Westbrooks sought to minimalize, not expand their business dealings with Mr. Swanson because he was a constant liability personally and professionally. Now, does the justice system of America genuinely believe that she would give 33% of her entire brand to somebody who she would describe as a professional and personal liability? Tati Westbrook sells Tati Westbrook branded products. These products aren't typically available in supermarkets or any other stores. People go to Tati Westbrook's website to get Tati Westbrook branded supplements, not Clark Swanson branded supplements, Tati Westbrook branded supplements. There's nothing more I can say. There are so many vitamins out there. I can go to the shop right now and probably buy the exact same vitamins that Tati Westbrook is selling, but it won't have her face on. And that, for Tati Westbrook fans, is what a lot of them are coming for. Some people might find that ridiculous, but brand dedication is a genuine thing. People like to support the curators that they like. Tati's lawyers even fully acknowledged this in the lawsuit when they said, without Mrs. Westbrook's social media following and powerful influence in the beauty industry, Halo Industry would not be able to sell its products as envisioned, and the business would be significantly impaired, if not worthless. I mean, it's completely true. Brand dedication is a popular thing. People latch on to brands they like. I mean, imagine in Hollywood if a film company released a film set in space about good versus evil and they called it Space Warfare. I don't think that film would particularly do amazing at the box office because it's been seen so much, just like vitamins. There are so many vitamins out there, but people go to the Tati Westbrook one because it's Tati, and then take Space Warfare and title it Star Wars. Now you've got $2.1 billion at the box office because people attach themselves to brands. It's pretty simple, to be honest. Would Teddy Fresh be popular if there was no H3H3 attachment to it? Would Jeffree Star's cosmetics sell if there was no Jeffree Star backing it? Would Shane Dawson sell makeup with makeup skills like that if he wasn't Shane Dawson? I don't think so, because brand attachment.
I did decide ultimately to put everything under the halo, everything would be one, and I thought, why not? You know what, we can start with vitamins, and we can go into skincare, and we can go into color cosmetics.
Now, I showed you guys this clip previously and said that it confuses me, and to an extent, it still does confuse me, but at the same time, I think there's some context we need to add in here. That clip came out in 2018, and I think since then, Tati has probably learned that this guy isn't the best person to work with. I mean, it literally says here that Mr. Swan's financial situation continued to negatively impact Halo Beauty, even with a reduced capital obligation. And as I said, that clip before was released in early 2018. Tati Beauty was released in late 2019. Now, I think we can all agree here that life can change quite a lot in 1.5 years, especially for millionaire businesswoman Tati Westbrook. But for me, life hasn't really changed much. I'm basically the same human being, just a bit heavier. But for Tati, she's successful, she's rich, she owns a lot of businesses, so I think During that period of time, she probably could have come to a further conclusion that Clark Swanson is probably a moron and probably not good to involve in further business ventures. Now personally, I think Tati in this lawsuit has the stronger case here. I really think this does just come down to a battle of semantics. Clark's biggest argument was that he wasn't notified at all about the creation of Tati Beauty, but at the same time, why would he have to be notified? I mean, the guy has constantly, in Tati's words, proved that he's a liability to Tati's businesses. Why would she further involve him in her ventures when the guy clearly can't even handle one company? But at the same time, I also have to think we do need to take into context that Tati also hasn't been perfect in terms of business. Now you guys might not see it as this, but the whole James Charles scandal last year is a form of business, and I think that negatively impacted her business. I think since early 2019, Tati has basically been damaging her business publicly by putting out videos which a lot of people fundamentally disagree with, and at the end of the day, that is going to damage her sales, because as Tati said earlier, her brand would not survive without her branding. Which I think is completely true, which is why I think releasing videos such as By Sister probably wasn't good for her business. Now a lot of you may think, well, you've got to be empathetic about this. It's the US justice system. The US justice system isn't really the most empathetic system on the planet. So Tati releasing By Sister and plenty of videos a lot of people disagree with is going to be a case that Clark Swanson can use and has kind of used when talking about James Charles promoting Sugar Bear Hair and the By Sister video. So in conclusion, I think this situation is very messy, but overall, I do think Tati will win this case. I think that she's clearly proven that her brand is based on her as a person, her public persona. I don't think anyone cares about Clark Swanson. If Clark Swanson was out of the picture, the brand would still be doing fine. I don't think Clark Swanson really contributes to much in this situation. So if I was a judge, which I don't claim to be, I would personally say that Tati did what she had to do, and I think it was right what she had to do, considering the guy, Clark Swanson, has been a liability, according to Tati. As much as I disagree with a lot of what Tati has done in the past, I feel like she is in the right in this situation mainly, but also I think she has most definitely learned to not go into business with your friends. They're your friends for a reason. They're not business partners. Maybe in some situations it might be a little bit different, but I think here it's kind of proven that you shouldn't do it. But that is the ending of the video. Thank you so much for coming along, and please don't forget to subscribe. I would really much appreciate it if you guys dropped a sub and also got this video to 30,000 likes. 30,000 likes and I will continue to follow this situation. And also don't forget to get my YouTubes, because this little cute fella, he's much more cuter than me. He's available right now. Links in the description. Please go buy that. And also please go follow my social media at Twitch, where I've been doing so many streams lately. I've been covering situations on Twitch where I go through it with you guys, and you can go follow me and join me with these situations where we cover it live. And also my Twitter is there at inabber69 and my Instagram at inabber. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming along, and I'll see you whenever, really. Peace out, people. Have a good day. But quickly before I go anywhere, I would just like to give a big thank you to Emily D. Baker and T-Spill. In this video, I used and sourced a lot of the screenshots from their videos where they analysed the same situation that I'm currently analysing. So I would really appreciate it if you went and checked their videos out about this situation and dropped a like on their video. All links are in the description. Thank you so much, people. See you later.
Butter dog. The dog with the butter. Butter dog. I got the butter on him. The dog with the butter. Dog.